stumbled on the Verbal Transform. This is a place where we examine words that are used all the time and have been beaten, misshapen, have gone a little flat, and we're going to breathe some life back into them. I'm Emily Gustosi, and I am joined by my co-host today, Mandy Gordon. We are going to be talking about love today with Meghan O'Malley. Andy, tell us a bit about Meghan.
Okay. Why don't I just step on your words first? So Meghan is a psychotherapist and a coach, and she's on a mission. She just launched a new website, which there will be information about that site included in the link below. What is it? Fierce Love Way?
Mm-hmm. FierceLoveWay.com.
Yep. And Meghan is on a mission, and it's all about love.
Yes.
Welcome, Meghan.
So good to be here, talking about the stuff that I love.
Yeah.
What are we missing about love, Meghan?
Oh, so much.
How many hours do we have?
I know. Yeah. Often love in our culture is this sort of light, fluffy thing. It's when we feel good. That's when we think we're doing love. And love is a pretty wide spectrum of things. And some of them you got to dig into. There's a fierce and badass quality to being committed to loving or being a force of love in the world. So, yeah, big stuff.
So Valentine's Day, this is not.
No. I don't even really know what Valentine's Day is. I don't know. I don't know how often that actually connects to the energy of love. I wonder.
Okay.
Sometimes it seems like it's more about expectations and going through the motions rather than a real felt experience. I guess it brings intentionality for some people.
You know, Meghan, what I'm wondering about with the Valentine's example is it feels like there's the expectations on one side, and then there's all this disappointment on the other end.
Yep.
And when I hear you talk about badassery, I know that's a word you like, and around love, I feel like what you're talking about is all the stuff in between there, expectations and disappointment.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that I say to my clients so often is expectation is premeditated resentment, or resentment and waiting. And when we're wanting to do love and we've got all this expectation and attachment that's based in our own stuff, we miss out on love. We miss out on that experience of deep connection and openness and really being in our truth, which I think is an expression of love.
So I'm really just intrigued by this reframing of love from this, it's, okay, I've gotten the chocolates, the flowers, we went to a movie and there was a dinner, that whole like performance of love,
right?
To this deep connection. What do you find people needing that we're missing because of this misframe?
What I see people frantically attached to the doing. Mm-hmm. I want to do love right. So it's the right gift, the right, doing it right. And what's missing is two people connecting from a place of authenticity. Being real with each other. And being real is some gritty stuff.
Yeah.
Being real it was a fairy tale. It was a rom-com. Being real is showing up with whoever you are in that moment, with whatever you've got in that moment, and connecting there. And I see so many people just aching for that type of connection. And so they're seeking and they're panicked about finding it. So they get attached to the wrong things, and they're attaching to how they look, to image, things like that, when that's really, it's not fulfilling for them, because what they're really wanting is connection, which connection and love are real wrapped up there.
You know, I have to bring the word in, talk about another word that's perhaps overused or misunderstood, vulnerability.
Oh yeah. Loving someone and opening your heart to someone, whether it's a partner, your child, a friend, it is the most vulnerable thing we can do, I believe, to really open in that way and say, I love you. Oh my gosh, I love the shit out of you. It's vulnerable because you're exposing yourself in a really profound way.
And
I don't even know if I'm at a loss for the right words for it. I know the feel of it.
there are other aspects of that vulnerability too. Like when you say, I love you, I want you to love me. Do you? And then the other thing is receiving love, right? Yeah. Is that part of what you're
Absolutely. And of course, being able to receive builds capacity to extend it outward. If we're not able to receive fully, we are at a more limited capacity to love those that are important in our lives. And receiving has so much to do with worthiness. And we can't open to receiving if we don't feel worthy of it. And often we learn very early in life to attach our worthiness to things like external forces, image, either playing small or playing big. All these things we learn very early in family of origin. And so we create this conditional story about love. And a lot of my work is about helping people get to the place of, no, you're worthy because you are. That's how worthiness of love works. You exist, therefore you are worthy. And that takes up peeling off a whole lot of layers of learned old stuff. And it also has a real spiritual flavor a lot of times. Like, you're a human being. You're here for a purpose, therefore you're worthy of receiving love.
And giving love, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I think a lot of people can name that more than their desire to receive it. It feels much more vulnerable to name I want to be loved so hard than to say, I really like doing for others. I really like caring for others, especially women. I work with a lot of women, and women are taught very early to nurture and to extend acts of love outward.
Well, can we split that a little bit? Like split it open, because is that love?
Well, and one of the things that Emily and I have talked about before is love as a verb and love as a noun. Like, you can do things because you think that's what love should be, and it can have this real should quality, or it can come from this very genuine place, or you can just be love in a moment. That's one of my mantras that I've used for years. How can I be the love in this moment? Makes things less complicated.
I am really fascinated with the safe places to love, or not places, but like the places in our relationships where it's like, okay, I can love this person, or I can be vulnerable in connection with this person. Like the like romantic love. I mean, when we think love, the first thing I brought up was Valentine's Day. So that romantic love. And then there's, love in your family unit. But hearing you talk about being the love right here, that is a very, open-ended idea.
It's a way of being. It's an absolute way of moving through the world. And I'm admittedly, I'm a nerd for authentic love. Like that's my thing. And when I go to Whole Foods or something, I am making eye contact with people a lot of times. And it's like, I'm just loving people up in that way. And it's from a very sincere place because I want connection and I believe other people want connection. And there's nothing There's nothing like weird about it. There's nothing, I'm not on the prowl at Whole Foods. It's just, and I think that's where it gets real collapsed in our culture, is when we think love has to have that romantic quality, and it doesn't. It really doesn't. I mean, I love my clients. I love my friends. I love my family. You know, it can just take a lot of forms, and it can be very clean and pure the way it is, even with strangers.
Yeah, we're definitely trying to use one word in English for so many concepts. I mean, how many types of love were recognized in Greek? Was it like 5 or 7 or something?
I don't know. I know other places have much more variety. Yeah.
Wow. You should have a t-shirt that talks about that. And there's another t-shirt. I already forgot what it was. But yeah.
What would the t-shirt say, Mandy?
Well, that t-shirt would, I don't know yet. It could either be like an initiative to spread the word that we need to expand our English dictionary to have more words that talk about love, or it could be a shirt that has all the words on it that could be part of love, or ways to talk about love. I don't know. This is your thing.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you, some ideas.
Thanks.
Yeah. Hey, on this note, I want to ask you, Megan.
Yeah.
Do you have a bumper sticker on your car?
Yes, I do.
What does it
It's
say?
the second incarnation of the same bumper sticker that says, I love you and I vote, meaning like I love you and you and you and you and you, whoever you are, and I vote. But the and I vote always fades. So
I didn't know about the and I vote.
Do what?
I didn't know about the and I vote.
Yeah, it faded a while ago, but it says I love you, and yeah, that.
I was really struck by that when I was parked behind you and I saw it and I was like, wow, I can picture you. I don't know. I imagine you driving around and feeling that, and then your bumper says it. And I wonder what it's like for the people who see your bumper.
I know. I wonder that too.
Do you ever get any response on the road or in parking lots?
I haven't in a while. I mean, I live in Asheville, so there's a lot of lovely bumper stickers here.
Yeah.
But I've seen people smile when they walk by, that kind of thing.
If you live in Asheville and have been behind the car that says I love you and possibly said and I vote, please leave a comment. We want to hear about your experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got my sights on some new ones when I get my next car. I love love is one. What would love do is another. There's some good ones. But we're joking about this, and I think it's important too. And I really just need to get serious for a moment and say, I do think people are hungry for a new way to do love. That's what I find in my work. That's what I find when I'm talking with girlfriends in the dating realm. It's like, there's a lot of seeking of how do we do love in a way that feels more like the deep connection I think people are looking for. And I don't think our culture knows what to do, because another part of love is grief. When you have to let someone or something go, whether it's a passion or a relationship in service of a greater love, it sucks, and it's love.
I'm actually...
Do what?
I'm just thought of tough love. I'm thinking of all these phrases and tough love.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Emily, go ahead. That was a Tourette's moment.
That's okay. And it ties into what I was thinking, which is, I was saying before, wow, there are all these different types of love and we've collapsed them all. But there's also something really great about using one word for all of that, because it's recognizing that deep, vulnerable connection that exists. Like, that's the piece of love that's the same, no matter if it's a stranger or your partner or your child or your parents.
It's sort of like naming that inherent connection that we've all forgotten about. And that's one of the greatest hurts, I think, so many of us humans carry, is we forgot that we're all connected.
Mm-hmm.
And when we name love, it's like, oh, not alone. There you are. There's a lot of people feeling really lonely.
Yeah. And so often, it sounds like I'm just echoing something you said. They're feeling really lonely. And then when they go to look for love, they're actually looking in the wrong places.
Yeah.
Looking for something, a more superficial answer.
Yeah.
Because that's what we know how to do.
Yep.
There's a song about that. Looking
Yeah.
for love in all the wrong places. So what's your wish list? Like, yeah, I don't need to say more.
I kind of want you to say a little bit more, because that's pretty big.
Like what I hear you saying is, I wish people could feel worthy of love. I wish people could learn that. I don't know. What, like, we have this love thing.
I wish people would feel worthy to give and receive love freely. I wish people would feel loved enough to live their truth, because there's a safety in feeling connected through love. It's like it kind of creates this nice little basket so people can be their awesome selves. I wish people could cultivate a loving relationship with themselves. That's what happens in here with these incredible women I work with. It's like I can feel it when they start to love themselves the way they've been longing to. And it's the best way I can say it is, it's like that thing right before thunder happens. You can like feel it in the air. There's a something that is unnameable, and it's like, the connection's there. Because, and this is where I get teary about it, if our world had more of that, so many things would be different. So many families would be different. Our political system would be different. And it really, it starts with these tiny acts. It starts with like a stranger being seen at Whole Foods by having eye contact made. It happens when, like, I'm having a really hard time and I let myself crumble on a friend and receive love. We are just dying for that. And if we get more of it, things change. They can't not. I mean, it's got a magical quality to it. I know that sounds kind of woo-woo, but it just does.
Talking about
the woo-woo of it. I'm like, we've made it woo-woo. Like that.
And
the fact that
I'm
it's
going to
woo-woo is
pop up on
bullshit.
the soapbox in a minute about the woo-woo relationship with love. Yeah. The like, it's all love. Just whatever. And I am super woo-woo about stuff, but I believe love is not just that. You don't just get to, oh, yay, it's easy, it's light. No, you got to dig into that shit. You got to commit to it. I've worn a ring on my finger for the past 2 years that just says love, and it's my reminder to be the love and to receive the love. And that's what this is too. I mean, yeah, clearly I'm a nerd for it. But I am on a mission to spread real love, not this faux love.
That's the other t-shirt. Nerd for love. Just thinking.
That's it.
I apologize. Go back. I just didn't want to forget again. I could have written
Thank you. Hat coming soon. I've been looking for a new hat. That's the
Make
one.
America love again.
And you're talking about something that a lot of us don't want to do around a lot of things. You're talking about hard work.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I know that.
And
it's hard, but it's equally proportionate to the benefit. Like, if you can be with the hard parts of it, the connection and growth and amazing stuff that is possible is, I mean, the way I've experienced connection and love in my life already is beyond what I ever thought possible or whatever anything I ever saw in my family, and, you know, and I'm still going. So being with the hard parts of it, being with grieving what I need to grieve, releasing what I need to release, looking at stuff that isn't fun to look at so that I can feel that on the other end. Yeah. Sign me up. I'll do it every time. I'll feel the hard stuff if I can feel that other stuff. And that's, as I work with my clients, that's what I see. They get it. They see, if I feel this stuff and if I work through this, I didn't even know this kind of friendship, partnership, whatever it might be, was possible. It's like it expands your capacity for love, expands your definition of it, which is cool.
Yes, it is.
It's so cool.
It's I'm all fired up. I want to go like be with all of my people, my family and friends right now, and really work at that whole space of love.
And it gets to be both, right? It gets to be hard work, and it gets to be this beautiful, easy thing you rest into. Everything's a paradox.
Oh, yeah.
And it gets to be undramatic and sometimes unremarkable. And, and there's such a spectrum of possibilities and the path you have to walk to get to those possibilities. This fierce love stuff is not much of a quick fix, huh?
No.
Yeah.
No, but I will say it can unfold much more quickly and powerfully than people expect. You know, if somebody comes to me with 30 plus years doing love a certain way because of what they learned early on in life, I've seen dramatic shifts within a year where they've redefined a lot in their lives. So it's not a quick fix where I can sell you a formula and say, do this, go through these motions, you're there. It doesn't work that way. But if somebody's committed to kind of going inward and being with some uncomfortable stuff in service of the good stuff, it can unfold pretty quickly.
So sorry, I just kind of saw the definition of love that we've lost. And we've hit on it repeatedly through this, but it's just kind of clarified in my head. Love is really it's the vulnerable, authentic connection.
Yeah.
And all like the 10 things you can do to better connect with your partner lists, you know, they can, when starting from a place of authentic, vulnerable connection, those are useful.
Yeah.
But you can't do those unless you're willing to get vulnerable and authentic about it.
With another and with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds like, and first with yourself.
Well, the cool thing about connection and love is that it kind of, you know, partnership or even friendship connection, but we usually see it most in partnerships, they're mirrors. And then we get to be curious about what's going on and kind of deepen connection with self as a result of what's been opened up. And often those openings are not comfortable. And we can make it about the other, or we can take it as an invitation to look inward. And so, yeah, it's very fluid, I think. There's actually a couples therapy model that I use in parent-child relationships or in relationship work where it actually is. It's an infinity symbol. And you look at the impact that's kind of flowing back and forth and what's seen and what's really going on under the surface. And that's the vulnerable stuff that people often don't see.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've used this word before, Megan, and it keeps popping in mind for me now, is warrior. And I'm also aware of the distinction between the warrior who goes into battle with a ton of armor on, and the warrior who goes forth in service of a cause and is prepared, you know, has the tools and to make sure they're okay and to move forward in the work.
Yeah, it has a real warrior quality to it, but I think I resist that word somewhat just because a lot of women I work with and my family that I come from have done warrior in a way that wasn't in service of connection.
Right.
And it has been really rooted in the armoring to push through, to not feel. And that is the opposite of what I'm all about.
Right.
It's kind of like redefining protection or something. So it's not this armored thing, but that's why I settled on the word fierce. I remember talking with a colleague and he said, the way you talk about it, it's just got this fierce quality, not this light thing. And I went, that's it. Because, Glennon Momastery, the woman who writes for Momastery, her whole thing is love warrior. That's her new book, I think. And she means it in the way that you're talking about it. Like, let's move forward with love. Let's commit to it. But yeah, the strength of love comes in a form that's actually quite soft and open. Often. Again, another paradox. Like you're digging in, you're a badass because you're kind of going, I'm going to love here. I'm going to do it. Don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to do love.
It's scary as shit.
It's scary as shit. Every time it's scary. That's how you gauge how much it matters.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't scary, probably it would matter less. Like when I get really scared about something like that, I go, oh, this is significant to me. It matters. And I don't let the fear win, at least most of the time. We're all human, we do fear, but it's like an indicator of mattering.
So if somebody chooses to come and work with you, Meghan, what can they expect? What are they signing on for?
Not light work, that's for sure. No, transformation of the way they do life, the way they move through life. And a sense of, rather than living in response to out here, mostly living in response to what's here, which is just very empowering, living from a place of truth. And I see courage happen in my office, and I see really cool stuff happen as a result of that courage. Or, if I'm working with somebody online.
Meghan, could you go back a moment and explain with words what you indicated with your hands? Because there's going to be an audio version of this as well.
What did I do with my hand?
Not out here, but in here.
Not in response to external expectations or shoulds or sort of learned truths early on in life. Like when everyone's family says this is the way things are in some form or fashion, but instead learning to go inward and assess what's my truth. What carries meaning for me? What is my wanting? I often ask, what does your inner 3-year-old want? What's the wanty part of you saying? Let that be a voice. You don't have to follow it, but let it be a voice. Or I work with the body a lot. And when you go into the body does not have a high tolerance for BS. It tells the truth. Our mind gets caught up in the shoulds and the expectations and the fears. The body just goes yes or no for the most part. It will let you know whether you're fooling yourself. So a lot of my work is rooted there. And that's incredibly empowering for a lot of the women I work with, is to form this relationship where the body is actually leading rather than something that's being beat down. The body knows love. It's our humanity. It knows how to do that. Love and truth are best friends too.
Besties, huh?
Yeah.
I love that you just brought the word humanity into this conversation.
And it's kind of like love is acknowledgement of our humanity. I see me and you see you and me. We're all just beautiful human messes. Therefore, we love.
This reminds me a great deal of the last episode of the Verbal Transform, where we talked about intimacy and just being brave enough to connect closely.
Mm-hmm.
And being willing to be in the unknown of connection. That's another important part of, I love you now. I connect with you now, and I don't know how it's going to unfold. Again, it's that expectation.
On that beautiful note, we're going to close up today.
Mm-hmm.
What is the one thing you want to leave people with about love?
Really? One thing?
One thing. Close it up.
Oh. Play around with just being the love. See what that means. Each person has a different flavor, which is part of what's beautiful, but pick a moment, pick a day, pick an hour, and just be the love in a situation and see what shakes loose.
That's some good homework.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are going to rush out and do this, all of you, report back, would you please, in the comments?
Yeah.
We would love to hear how love is rippling out from here.
Emily and I will post.
This is true.
Thank you both for letting me be a nerd for love.
Thank you for nerding out with us.
Thank you so much for being a nerd for love. We need a song to go with the hat.
Are you on that?
Never know, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for joining us today. For more information about how to find Meghan, look at the links below, and we will see you next time.